It has been 6 months since I purchased the Apple Watch SE 2, and based on my experience during this period, I will share with you whether buying this watch makes sense and how practical is it considered more expensive or cheaper options. One thing I truly love about this watch is how well it works in sync with my phone. When I put my phone on silent mode, it instantly pairs with the watch. Or, for another example, the photos I added to my favorites on the phone appear on the watch as well. Additionally, answering calls from the watch works very well. Although this watch has a similar screen size to higher-end sibling, the lack of a mini keyboard is definitely one of Apple's incentives to make you consider buying a higher model. Unfortunately, you have to rely on the third-party apps to have keyboard support, and it doesn't work as well as native support. However, the dictation feature works quite well and honestly doesn't make me miss the keyboard much. Another thing I really appreciate is how stylish the watch looks. You can wear anything you want with this watch and combine it with different bands. You can create a sophisticated look with a metal band underneath a suit for an evening gathering in a luxurious setting. At the same time, you can create a light and breathable look with sport bands when going for a workout. Being the world's best-selling smartwatch brand, the options for bands are limitless, and that's a fantastic thing. Next, let's talk about sleep tracking. Sleep is often one of the most overlooked aspects of our lives, especially when it comes to our physical and mental health. One of the biggest challenges with sleep is that it can be difficult to know if you are getting quality sleep. However, with the sleep stage tracking feature of Apple Watch, you can now learn whether you are getting restful sleep or not. It not only tracks how long you sleep, but also monitors when and for how long you enter different sleep stages that have various benefits for our bodies. While we are on the topic of health features, I want to mention another favorite health feature of the Apple Watch, which is hearing health feature. Having a device on my wrist can measure the ambient noise level and alert me at any moment is truly great. For example, I was watching a football match at a stadium, and when the home team scored a goal, the crowd went wild. It was an incredibly low noise level, and my watch immediately alerted me with a vibration. Be careful, if you are exposed to this sound for a while longer, you could have hearing problems. Or, let me give you another example. When I spent a long time in nightclub, it alerted me 3 times, signaling that I should take a break. When I finally stepped outside, I found it difficult to hear even the next person next to me, and the Apple Watch had told me that I needed a break. The 3 activity rings displayed by the Apple Watch quickly tell me how I am doing with my movement, exercise, and standing goals, and overall, they motivate me to go out and exercise. The watch also has an incredibly useful feature called automatic workout detection. If you forget to start a workout, it alerts you with a gentle vibration and asks you if you want to record it. For example, if you started walking 15 minutes ago, it will remind you 15 minutes later, and if you choose to record it, it will calculate the data, taking into account the previous 15 minutes. It's really a feature that adds value to everyday life. Apple has added heart rate zones this year that can help you see the intensity of a workout. This allows you to see which heart rate zone you are in at a glance and determine if you are truly pushing your limits or not. One of the best uses I have found for the Apple Watch is its ability to show you a ton of information at a glance. With watch faces like infograph, you can now display a lot of information about the time with complications, and there are plenty to choose from. Additionally, you have the option to customize the color of these complications and the rest of the watch face to match the color of your Apple Watch bands. Right now, I have set up a watch face that shows me the date, month, time, activity level, weather, current temperature in my location including high and low temperatures for the day, my weather level, and provides one-click access to a calculator. Being able to see all this information with a single glance is really convenient. Now, the Apple Watch is primarily used for the media control for me. Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, and of course Apple Music all have Apple Watch apps that make it easy to control and play music either on your phone or directly on the watch. The Now Playing app allows you to control other Apple devices, such as playing music on your iPhone or something playing in your Apple TV. It's really enjoyable to be able to stop music playing on my MacBook from the comfort of my bed. Another useful feature of the Apple Watch is the ability to instantly view and respond to notifications. If you are expecting an important call or message, the chances of missing it with the Apple Watch are close to zero. However, I must admit that this feature can work against me at times. Constantly receiving vibrations on my wrist from notifications of dozens of apps installed on my phone can become tiring after a while. To prevent this, I have disabled notifications for all apps except the ones I consider truly important. For example, I want to receive notifications for every message on WhatsApp, but don't mind missing notifications for dog videos on Instagram. Now, another new feature related to this watch is accident detection. It's definitely a nice feature to have, and actually it makes more sense to turn a watch into a device for this purpose, since a watch should be more accessible to you after an accident compared to a phone. Hopefully, no one will ever need to use it, but if necessary, it can literally be a life-saving feature. You might only need this feature once in a lifetime, and that's when you will truly see its value. Additionally, one of the new features in this Apple Watch is the S8 chip. Don't worry, you can access the same chip as $799 Apple Watch Ultra with this $249 watch. Considering that people are still using the Series 3 and it uses the same chip as the Apple Watch Ultra, we can confidently say that it will provide excellent performance for many years. Another fantastic feature of this watch, which I haven't mentioned yet, is the compass and backtracking capability. For example, if you go for a hike in an unfamiliar area and get lost, your Apple Watch will guide you back to the starting point of your hike by using GPS, which is quite amazing. Before discussing the disadvantages, let's talk about the Apple Watch app. It's well designed, but you will only really use it when setting up your Apple Watch. Apple does a great job with providing more information on how to use your watch, including a Discover section where you can learn more. This also serves a reminder that you still need an iPhone to get an Apple Watch. Keep in mind that using an Apple Watch with an Android phone is currently impossible. Now, let's review the things I don't like about the Apple Watch SE. The first issue is that it doesn't track sleep during the day. It only records sleep during the night, which I think is a major drawback. Even the much cheaper Mi Band 6 that I previously used had this feature. Not having it on this watch was a big disappointment for me, honestly. Another concern is the charging time. While the watch battery lasts for 1.5 and 2 days, it would have been great if it could charge in around 25 minutes when placed on the stand, like Series 8. However, it takes 1.5 hours to go from 0 to 18%, which can be frustrating in some situations. Currently, it's not a problem for me, and I haven't experienced any issues in this 6 months that I have been using it. But considering that I might have to charge it every day as the battery ages, the charging time can be a bit bothersome. Other than that, I haven't encountered any issues with the SE. Overall, while I think it's an incremental update for the Apple Watch series, the Apple Watch continues to be a great companion device for anyone using an iPhone. Now, let's address that question that everyone is curious about. Which model should people buy? If you think about this way, I don't really care about having an always-on display. It's enough for me to see the time when I raise my wrist. I'm not concerned about measuring blood oxygen levels or having an ECG. The screen-to-body ratio is not important to me, as I will be using a black background. Then, I definitely recommend the Apple Watch SE. I didn't want to spend more money because I had these preferences, and I chose the SE. Even after 6 months, I never regretted not getting the Series 8. There are times when I thought it would be cool to have an always-on display, but that's about it. If you want to learn more about different versions of Apple Watch SE and check their current prices, I have left links in the description where you can do that. And consider giving this video a thumbs up if you liked it and found it helpful. This is Cordy Tech. Thanks for watching.